Today we're taking the Bear Alaskan XT and we're going to build up a bow for under $1,000, fully built out, and we're using high quality products to do it. So if you're somebody that doesn't want to go out there and spend $1,500 on a Matthews, Hoyt, Bowtech, something like that, but you want a really good bow that's going to perform, then stay tuned for this video. We're going to show you how to do that. So let's get into it, guys. Like and subscribe. So the products we're going to start using, so we'll just do a price breakdown. So the bow, I bought this on mikesarchery.com for $479, so plus tax was around $500. So we'll keep it baseline $500 for the bow itself. The next most expensive piece is going to be this Spot Hogg Fast Eddy XL dovetail sight. Now we did opt for the 2-pin model, that way we can use this for hunting situations as well. So if you have an animal that's coming in and they're switching distances, that gives you 2 different pin options and 2 different ranges that you can focus on without having to redial the distance. So this is going to run you around $280. So it is a lot of money, but you're getting a really high quality product. And you know, if you don't like Spot Hogg, there's multiple sites out there around this price point, maybe even a little cheaper, that can get you into a really good site and maybe not break the bank as bad. The next most expensive thing you're going to have to get is a rest. We're looking to use the integrated mount on the back of this riser that comes on the Alaskan XT. Then you can use this Propel limb-driven rest. It has the integrated mount on the back of it here. It's going to run you around $80. So to keep it under $1,000, we did opt for this Trophy Ridge Hitman stabilizer. This is the 10-inch model. You can get a bunch of different models, and the prices change a lot. So around $50 you can get one of these 10-inch models. It does have the quick detach piece right here. That's going to extend it out another like inch and a half. So you're getting a little bit longer than a 10-inch stabilizer if you get this model. But if you want to spend just a little bit more, and since I already had this, I'm probably going to throw it on it anyway. But I shoot my bow a lot with just the 10-inch stabilizer on the front. So if you want to spend a little bit more, you can get a back bar. And I strongly suggest getting a back bar because it's going to stabilize your bow a little bit better, but it's not necessary. You don't have to get one, and that's going to get you by. For hunting, that's probably going to be a little bit more optimal, especially if you're hunting from a tree stand, you're hunting from a ground blind or something like that. You probably don't want a back bar that's going to make it a little bit more cumbersome, but keep it under $1,000. You're going to go with the 10-inch model here. So the kit also comes with a Trophy Ridge wrist sling. So that is going to be installed as well. Keeping with Trophy Ridge, because Bear does own Trophy Ridge, and their products are just great. I've run Trophy Ridge on my Diamond SB Deploy, and they just make some really good products. And they're inexpensive. So keeping with the budget of $1,000, we kind of had to go with some Trophy Ridge stuff and still get that quality. So we went with a Trophy Ridge Hex Light Quiver. This is going to run you around $75. But it does come with the integrated LED lights. So if you're walking into your stand before daylight, you can push the LED lights and you can see your walking trail so you're not going to trip or something like that. And you can also light up the inside of the quiver here. That way you can get your broadheads out safely without potentially touching a string or cutting yourself. Or let's say it's last light and you can't really see to get your arrows back in the quiver. Then you can turn on that LED light and put your broadheads away safely. So great, solid option right here, has really good mounting points, and we're going to show you all this too. And the last thing you're going to need if you're building the bow from just a bare bow that's stripped down with nothing on it, you're going to need some type of peep sight. So we went with a really small peep here. I think this is a 3/16 of an inch peep. So that's going to run you around $10 to $15, still keeping it under that $1,000 price range. So that's all the products, guys. We're going to get into building this thing. The first thing we're going to do is kind of check this thing out, make sure that it cycles smooth. We're gonna take some test shots real quick out of it. And it did come installed with the D-loop already, and it does have this little string right here to where we can put the peep sight in. Now, if you're gonna be doing this at home, you do need to have some type of bow press to put your peep in. If you don't have a bow press, then you can take this to an archery shop and get the peep put in very cheaply, and they'll put it in a bow press. So let's get into testing how this thing feels. We're going to shoot some arrows into our target here and just give you some overall impressions and feel of how this bow is out of the box before you put anything on it. You can see how it just breaks over, and it's really nice, solid in the back. All right. Not a ton of vibration in the hands. I mean, for a $500 bow, I mean, obviously it's not going to be as dead in the hand as a Matthews, but honestly, not much. So the draw cycle is really smooth. You can see how smooth it is. It just kind of breaks over that last like 4 inches of travel. Like, look at that. Not a lot of diving forward. Doesn't dive back too much. It's really nice and balanced in the hand. And once again, that thin grip is great for all kinds of different types of positions for your hand. I mean, a lot of people shoot all kinds of different ways, but really nice grip. Draw cycle was really good. I really like the back wall. Even though this is cable stops, it's really solid on the back wall, especially for a $500 bow. I mean, there's a lot that are just really squishy. This one isn't squishy. Yeah, and not a lot of vibration at all, and it's not loud. This is a really quiet bow. This is a lot quieter than my Diamond SB Deployed. So there you go. For 500 bucks, I think it's a pretty daggone good deal. All right, let's go through, get some parts put on this thing. All right, so we pressed the bow. We got the bowstring loose. That way it's gonna take the tension off. All right, so we're gonna pull that string out. So we're gonna get our tool on there. You can see all that split. We're gonna go ahead and put our peep in. And we're gonna put some tension on it. There we go. So it doesn't take a lot to get your peep in. It's pretty simple. So we already got the peep tied in. Now we're gonna go ahead and do a new D-loop. So the bow does have the integrated rest option right here. So we're gonna go ahead and utilize that to put this Propel limb-driven rest on. A really nice looking rest, has the whale tail. There, we're just gonna snug that down a little bit till we figure out where our center shot is. What I'm gonna go ahead and do right now is I'm gonna cut this old D-loop off. I'm gonna mark where the spots are, because this D-loop right here is gonna be inconsistent. This right here, when you pull back, is gonna be pinching the arrow. It's just not gonna be super consistent. So we're gonna cut this off and we're gonna put soft knots in, and then we're gonna install a new D-loop. I'm gonna take a little silver Sharpie, mark where that soft knot needs to start. Take a little reference mark there. All right, so that's where our soft knot needs to be. So we're gonna go ahead and get that installed. So we got our soft knots installed. Now we're gonna go ahead and tie our D-loop on. So with the Propel rest, we already went ahead and got the cord. We already got the activation cord kind of ran down through. We're gonna run it down the inside of the limb here. And then it does come with this little rubber piece, and it has an adhesive backing on it. You just wanna go ahead and put that where pretty much your loop is gonna be going around. So that's gonna lock it in place and keep it from sliding. So you wanna get that installed, which we already have. Now we're gonna show you how to tie that loop. We need to talk about the tension. Is you want your activation cord to activate it all the way down. You want it to be tight all the way down to the shelf. So every rest is gonna have like a little shelf or a stop. So you can tell where that stops. And you just want it to be tight enough to where it stops, and that's it. And if it's really, really tight, like if this is like a guitar string where it's super, super tight, then that's too tight. You want to back it off just a little bit, but just where it's going to be sitting on that shelf. Okay, we're going to show you real quick how to tie this activation cord. So the first thing you want to do is go through the middle of your limbs. You're going to go around, and we're going to make a loop around it once. So you've went around it once, and now you're coming back up on the other side here. Then I'm going to hold bottom of my finger on this thing to keep it from moving. I'm gonna retie here, go in front of, loop it through. I'm gonna cinch that one down. Okay, this time behind and through, and we're gonna cinch that down. All right, so we have our activation cord ready to go now. You can see it's all burnt down. So We're gonna go ahead and test this thing out, see if we have the right amount of travel, right amount of tension. So let's test it out. All right. Go ahead and release this arrow. Seemed pretty good. And we also have our paper tuning stand up here, so I'm trying to see how good this thing is paper tuned. Actually, we might not even have to do anything to this bow as far as timing or anything like that. It seems to be, I mean, it almost shot a bullet hole just now. A little bit, I think, knock high and to the left, just a touch. But we haven't really done anything with our rest. We just eyeballed it, make sure we had our center shot right. And yeah, let's get this thing paper tuned. I think our rest is good now. We're gonna go ahead and get this thing paper tuned now. We have the rest pretty much where we need it. I just shot a bullet hole right here. I mean, it can't get more perfect than that. So we're gonna see if we can do that again. But all I did was just move the rest down just a touch because we hadn't messed with it at all. We didn't even measure it or do anything like that. We just got it pretty much lined up with the burger holes here. But what we're gonna do now is shoot it again and see if we get a bullet hole. All right, that's not bad, honestly, right there. Maybe tail low just a little bit. I have to move the rest just a touch. All right, so we made a couple of adjustments. We lowered the rest a little bit to compensate for the tail low. We didn't have to move the nocking point or anything like that. It was good to go. So what we're gonna do now is show you. We made a couple shots off camera just to test this, but they were pretty bad up here, knock low, and then we moved the rest and got some bullet holes now. All right, so there we go. This is what we started with, tail low, and then this is what we ended up with. Pretty much just dead center. That was a bear shaft there, and this was an earlier bear shaft shot. But, I mean, you can tell that one's pretty good, a little bit to the left, but not bad. I think that's gonna be good enough to get us out there shooting at the range. All right, so we're gonna unbox the Spot Hogg Fast Steady XL and get this thing mounted up to the bow. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get this out of the packaging. One cool thing about Spot Hogg is everything is aluminum construction. I mean, this thing weighs quite a bit. I think this thing is like 15 ounces, so right at a pound, but everything is aluminum construction. Has this really fast dial knob. Love that. So that's one of the main reasons I got this. But it's just a really rock solid bow sight. So we're gonna go ahead and get this thing assembled. All right, there we go. Very bright pins. I mean, everything is just rock solid on this thing. All right, so there's the sight. Now we're gonna go ahead, just put the easy stuff on, so the stabilizer and then the quiver. First thing you're gonna do is take your quick release mount and then take your little wrist sling, make sure the orientation's good on that. You're gonna put it back through and then line that up. And then you're gonna put a little screw through there. And you're gonna screw that into the riser. All right, there you go. Now we need to tighten the wrist sling down. All right, we left that one tight. All right, so there's the stabilizer. That's the 10-inch stabilizer. Look at that, it's coming together. So I found out trying to put the bracket on for the quiver, I'm not able to run this quick release dial. That way I can just take the sight off and on really quick. We're gonna have to use the one that was already installed, which is just this little flush fitting one. So just FYI, with this quiver, I'm not able to do that. So here we are with the finished $1,000 bow build. And I will say this thing's pretty hefty. We haven't even put the arrows on it. We're probably gonna put the quiver down just a little bit more, but here we are. I think it looks pretty good. So we're gonna take this out to the range. We're gonna see how this thing functions and performs, and we're gonna get this thing sighted in, but the Fast Eddy XL looks great. And I'm not sure how far we're gonna run that bar in or out. We might leave it here. We might have to push it back some. There you go, and you can lock this quiver in and take it off pretty easy. That's the cool thing about it. And then look at the integrated LED lights. So that's the one, they're pretty bright. If you were to be walking in the woods in the morning, you can kind of like look at your trail and stuff. On the inside of the quiver housing there, you can see it has some LEDs, lights up the inside of the quiver. And it just has little buttons at the top here. You can lock that in. There we are. So we're gonna go ahead and add in that back bar that I was talking about. And if you were to go a little bit cheaper on the site, which you could definitely go cheaper on the site, you could definitely go cheaper on the quiver. Honestly, on the quiver, you could get a decent quiver for probably 30 or 50 bucks. And that's gonna be a lot cheaper than the $75 one. So you could spend that extra money that you would save on a site and a quiver and put it towards getting the back bar. So we're gonna go ahead and install this back bar. This is really gonna help compensate for the weight of the quiver. The back bar, it has two different mounting options. So you can do it right here, or you could do it right here. There's two different placements. We're gonna try to keep the center of gravity lower. So we're gonna opt for this lower mount. There we go, got the back bar installed on this thing. We haven't experimented with, you know, the elevation and that kind of stuff of it. But look at that bow, man, that looks sick. I think it's gonna perform very well. So let's get this thing out to the range, see what it can do. All right guys, so we do have the quiver on, but we're gonna take it off to shoot with. I just wanted to show you what it looks like with some arrows in it. Looks pretty good, guys, and you can tuck it in pretty close. It does have an adjustment piece over here on the base, and you can tuck it in as close as you need to without it hitting this cable slide. But you can see right there, you can get it pretty close. So we're gonna unlock that. Take this thing off. This thing is just rock solid, very beefy construction. It's gonna be a nice quiver. All right, so we're gonna see how close we are at 20. All right, a little low. And I did go ahead with the sight. I moved it down some on this mount just to move it down a little bit more, because it does come right in the middle of the bow. It's gonna be way too high. Oh man, that was money. Let's shoot another one. That right there was just spot on at 20. All right, that was a little low. I think I pulled that one though. Not gonna lie, I'm a little sore. I hit the gym a couple days ago. I am feeling it. All right, there we go. That's pretty much spot on. Maybe just a little, move it up a little bit. Shoot the last one here before we go ahead and put that calibration tape on. There we go, that one's money. As we have a huge rainstorm coming this way, you can see the rain falling right there. Not far away. So we're gonna go ahead, hit up 60 yards, and that is gonna tell us where we need to be for our sight tape. So we went ahead and put the calibration tape on. It's very simple, you just cut it out. And what this does right here, you put it on your 20. So where we were shooting at 20, that's where I left it. And then this right here has a bunch of different numbers, and it tells you which sight tape to pick out, and they have them all numbered. So we're just gonna guess right now at 60. We'll do it on this first one, see if we can even hit the thing. Got a good feeling that we can. All right, so I'm gonna aim for the middle of this bale right here, just in case we miss a little bit. That way it can give me a good indication of where we're gonna be hitting at. Honestly, I didn't even see where that one went. I think we're in that blue target. But let's shoot another one just to check. All right, I think it's hitting that top bale, so we're pretty much on the money. But I'm gonna shoot a little group right here and see where they're landing at. Then we'll go down there and check them. All right, let's go check them out. All right, so there's our group at 60. All right, so not a bad group for, you know, not really knowing where we were hitting at. So we're gonna go ahead and readjust it a little bit. We were a little low, probably about 10 inches low. So we're gonna bring this up a little bit. Not a whole lot. It was a little bit low. I saw it hit the paper. We're gonna keep going up just a little bit. All right, I think that one's pretty much money. We're gonna shoot a group now with our remaining arrows. I think that one looked a little low. I might have pulled it though. Went low. I think that one's money. Let's go check it out and see. That was a good shot though. All right, that's our group right there. So we were shooting our first few really low. I couldn't really tell. Then we moved the dial up, shot 2 more. And I did correct on that one before I shot the last one. I think this was the last one. So I think we're just about on the money. We're gonna shoot another group just to confirm. And then we're taking this bad boy to 100. So let's shoot another round. If you're looking to save some money and still have some pretty good equipment, then you don't have to go out and buy a spot hog. So on my other bow, I shoot an Apex covert sight. They also make a dovetail version of it. And honestly, it works just as good as this one almost. This one's probably got beefier construction, but if I was looking to save a couple bucks, that Apex covert, and I'll place a link in the description box for it. That's a good way to save 200 bucks right there on a bow sight that does the exact same thing as this thing does. Honestly, I shoot just as good with that covert as I do with this spot hog. So just some food for thought. All right, that was a good shot. All right, I think it was a good group. Got 2 more arrows, or we get to go slinging them at 100. I think that was a bullseye on that one. All right, so not the best group in the world at 60, but I'll take it. It's probably about, I don't know, 8-9 inch spread right there. Definitely due to my shoulder fatigue right now, but I think it's good enough. Let's go get this thing back to 100 and see how we do. Okay, so the next thing you're gonna do is wherever your top pointer right here is pointing to, there's gonna be a number. Mine is pointing to 30. That is the sight tape that you're gonna grab. So we're gonna grab that one real quick. These are the sight tapes they give you, and you're gonna have to have a pair of scissors to cut them out. So you can see how they're numbered. So we needed 30. All right, so we have it cut out. Let's get this thing put on. All right, so we're taking this thing all the way to 100. And hopefully it's the right one. And then the wind just picked up big time because that storm is right on us. That's gonna start pouring the rain any second. I think we hit the bale, but that arrow was going sideways. That wind's blowing so hard. We're hitting the bale, but I feel like we're just slinging darts at this point. All right. We slung 4 of them down there, and I think they all 4 hit the bale, but I don't know how close we're gonna be. Okay, well, we hit the bale. I guess that's not too bad for the first time. Oh man, these arrows are coming down through here sideways. That wind is just blowing so bad right now. All right guys, we are back from the range shooting the Bear Alaskan XT. And I couldn't be more impressed with the build quality of this thing and the performance that you get out of this thing. So something I didn't really hit on too much with the pricing and stuff like that, we kind of threw in the quiver as if you were gonna be building this strictly for a hunting bow. But I get it, not everybody's gonna be taking this out and focusing solely on hunting. So if you're one of those people that's setting this thing up for tack, 3D, or just shooting the bow, you know, on the weekends and not really focusing on hunting, then go ahead and purchase the setup with the back bar. So you don't have to go out there and spend 75 bucks or more on a quiver. You can go ahead and just buy the Trophy Ridge stabilizer up front and the back bar kit. And I'll place all of this in the description box below. So honestly, I think that's probably what I would do if I was setting this up for just tack or 3D. Or like I'm gonna do, I did buy the quiver, but guys, I'm not gonna be running the quiver on the bow. I don't shoot with the quiver on the bow because it would just be way too heavy and it kind of throws off my aim. Even if I practice with a quiver on, I just don't like it. So I bought the quiver, but we're gonna be using that quiver to put in a pack with the arrows and the broadheads in it for hunting. So I'm not actually shooting it with the quiver on. So you're gonna save some weight by not running the quiver on here. If you don't want the quiver, just buy the back bar kit and you're gonna be super impressed with the performance that you get out of this bow. So please follow along. We're gonna be posting a lot more videos on this Bear Alaskan XT. This thing is just a great bow, especially for 500 bucks if you're looking to get into it for very budget friendly. I know we threw a lot of high dollar products on here like the Fast Eddie XL, which I can't say enough about this sight. This thing is amazing and it really was easy to get sighted in. So I can't say enough about this. This whole bow build I think is really good for 1,000 bucks. I mean, I've shot bows, they're well over 1,000 bucks just for a Bear bow. 1,500, 1,800 bucks. And guys, this right here isn't far from some of those. And honestly, maybe even performs as good, if not better, than some of them I've shot in the past. So guys, thanks for watching this video. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, place those in the comment box below. Check out the description box. We're gonna place links to all of the items we put on this bow and some of the ones I recommend as alternatives to some of these if you're looking to build up a bow like this for under $1,000. Guys, if you like this kind of stuff, hit that like and subscribe button and turn on that bell notification so you can get the videos when we roll them out regarding this bow, because it's such a good platform. We're gonna be making tons of videos on it. And in my opinion, 2024 had a bunch of really good bows, but I think if you're a Western hunter or somebody looking to just shoot tack and 3D, then the Bear Alaskan I think is the best bow of 2024. Guys, thanks for watching. We'll catch you in future videos.